Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Devils United. Another game, more points dropped from Manchester United's point of view, but honestly, it was just a crazy game. Another game that was definitely one for the neutrals, probably more for a disappointment in our respect, Arsenal's respect, Manchester City's respect as well, because they're all in the title race at the moment. But just extremely disappointed on the way that we did end up getting the 3 points, especially when we was winning at one stage. But it was a very silly penalty to give away, and to be fairly honest, it was a penalty. If anyone ever said to me though at the start of the game we was gonna draw, I definitely would have snatched your hand off for it, because the way we've been playing, we definitely needed points, and I think it's very hard to get points off this Liverpool team at the moment. But overall, it's just extremely disappointing. I'm gonna put him a poll in the chat now for player of the match. I did have it on for Chelsea the other week, but because we lost, I ended up terminating it because, like, you know what, no one's getting a player of the match from me. But I have put it on now. So we've got on the player of the match. We will go through at the end of the game. We've got Maino, Fernandez, Kwambala, and Dalot. So yeah, so we'll go into the chat now. Good afternoon, Niall. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. For me, draw was a fair result. Should have won it, in my opinion. Especially when you are coming up from 2-1. I think it was just an extremely silly penalty to give away. And I think that it was very disappointing from Wan-Bissaka. I just think that the intelligence from Wan-Bissaka wasn't there. Whenever, no matter what, with the contact, it doesn't matter how much contact you've made, if it's the bare minimum contact or if it's a lot of contact, if you're going to do a sliding tackle in the box, more chance than not, you are going to have the penalty conceded against you. So I just think it was very, very stupid and very, very reckless. What a goal by Maino. Take about. What a hit, son. What a hit. Hey there, Twilumber. Thank you for coming into the chat. Hope you are well. Can't complain, really. Yeah. In the end, it was a stupid penalty, but as I say, someone told me it was going to be a 2-2 draw 2 days ago after we beat Chelsea. I would have said, you're lying, mate. You're absolutely lying, because I was in three minds. Like, obviously, I'm always going to want United to win, but a part of me thought we was going to get battered. Liverpool at all weren't clinical in the slightest, and the 2 goals that they scored were based off errors from Man United. It wasn't individual brilliance or fantastic display by Liverpool itself. It was just more down to what we done wrong and what we should be really doing better on. Hey Torstein, thank you for coming in. Hope you are well. 2-2 is okay. Yeah, I happily take 2-2, as much as it is disappointing. And we shouldn't have give that penalty away. I'm happy to take 2-2 any day from the last game. Hey there, Paul. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you are well too. Thanks for coming in. I know Birmingham's not doing so well at the moment. Shocking of this season for Birmingham. Hey Henry, hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. What a game. Yeah, it was definitely a great game for a neutral point of view. Definitely for not both our point of views, just because it was a game that we both needed the 3 points, especially for yourself to stay in the title race, and for us to redeem anything that we do have left of this season. But from a neutral point of view, it was a fantastic game. Arsenal will be delighted by that, because it keeps them on top on goal difference. Did you watch the Old Firm earlier? No, I didn't watch the Old Firm. We had 0 shots in the first half. Wan-Bissaka isn't the reason we haven't won. I agree with that. I wouldn't have blamed Wan-Bissaka anyway. I'm not going to solely blame Wan-Bissaka. That is his fault. As much as I do think it was a silly penalty to give away. We could have had so much more Højlund again, he's been ghosting. I do feel sorry for the lad because he doesn't get the service. But I think with the way these wingers that we do have at Man United, he needs to start tracking back a bit more and feeding himself. As much as it's going to probably be hard from a young player point of view, he probably needs to do that to get any kind of goals now for this season. Garnacho, another one. I just don't think he was up to scratch, and Rashford as well. I don't think he was too good either, but he did have 3 players marking him at once. So that just really shows the game management that Liverpool had. But I agree, we were extremely poor going forward. That needs to improve dramatically because you're looking at Erik Ten Hag compared to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's a much different style of play in terms of attacking football. I don't know what Erik Ten Hag is more concentrating on, if it's goals or defence, because none of them look up to scratch. But I think with Ole it was like, I'll just take the goals over the defence. And obviously in a lot of respect that did cost, a lot of ways it did work out. But yeah, the attacking players need to do so much better. I don't think Anthony played too bad when he came on, but we need to be starting to use Ahmad a lot more than what we are doing. I think it's ridiculous how he's not even getting any minutes. We all know about the referee in the Premier League are rubbish. Yep, they are. In my opinion, from Henry, not a penalty, and we were poor in the second half. We were lucky, so rubbish. We always do it, make it hard for ourselves. Hope you are well. Hope all goes well. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Henry. And yeah, definitely wasn't definitely for me. It was. I think we was definitely better in the second half. First half, it was definitely all Liverpool. Um, and I think probably overall the draw was probably the fairest one. Thoughts on the referee performance? What's your rating on Anthony Taylor? I don't really like Anthony Taylor anyway. I don't think he's a good referee. No referees are good in the Premier League. But one of them. The more you complain about referees, the more you think it's just that the fact that, oh my god, it's you're moaning about referees time and time again. And I think even though there is poor things what the referees are doing, I just try to avoid talking about the referees now. Um, just more because I don't want people to think that's the only I don't want to go on like it's myself why I think we've lost or we've dropped points, because I don't think it was down to refereeing, it's just down to us. Hey there, Jarvis, thanks for coming in, hope you are well. Hey there to my queen, thank you for coming into the chat, hope you are well. I don't like Baldy Taylor. Yeah, I don't think many people like Anthony Taylor indeed. So we'll look at both the starting 11 players, which is from Foot Mob. So yeah, there you go. So here is the starting 11. So I'll break it down for both teams. So I'll start off with Manchester United, and then I'll talk about Liverpool's the best I possibly can. So we did have a couple of changes from the other day's game against Chelsea, just more down to injuries more than anything. Otherwise, I think I'll probably say we would have only had the one change. But we've had Onana in goal. He will be missing out the next game against Bournemouth, as he did pick up his 5th yellow card of the season. So we're going to see Bayende most likely in net on Saturday. I think we're playing Wan-Bissaka as left back, the same as what we did in the FA Cup game. I think, in my opinion, the only reason why Wan-Bissaka has been playing in the left back role is just to keep Salah quiet, because Dalot, as much as everybody likes Dalot, he isn't the best defensively, and whereas Wan-Bissaka, he will put in a challenge and he is great with his one-on-ones. So I think that was probably the game strategy by Erik Ten Hag, because I think it's going to be a lot more open on the right side, with Luis Diaz. This is no disrespect to Luis Diaz when I say that, but I think there was just a bit more space for Dalot to get into them runs and to get the attacking play going, because you need to keep that right wing quiet for Liverpool as much as possible, for have any kind of points coming today. And I think we managed to do that, apart from obviously that point that we did get that penalty against us. We did have a change in the centre back role. Harry Maguire stays in the starting position, and we had Willie Coamba, who made his first Old Trafford appearance. First Old Trafford starting appearance, I will change that to. And to be honest, he did play fantastically. There was genuinely not a fault in him whatsoever. Don't think the yellow card was actually a yellow card for me either. I think he had a top game, and I think that rating that Foot Mob has had on him, the 6.8, is extremely harsh, because he wasn't the worst defender on the pitch. I actually think he was actually probably the best defender we had on that pitch today. He was absolutely fantastic, and I hope all the flowers do come out for Willie Coamba today, because I just think that a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people doing these like keep loan sell things, and a lot of people are saying to sell Willie Coamba, and I disagree with it completely. I think if you're stepping up against a game like Liverpool, you're coming out with a draw, you're coming out as one of the better defenders, keep him. I'm not necessarily saying like put him as a starting 11 player as such, but put him as a backup, because he's already better than Lindelof. Lindelof is dreadful, so I'd much rather have Willie Coamba there in that centre back role over Victor Lindelof, 110%. Get rid of Lindelof. I think Maguire will probably end up be gone in the summer as well. So, and then bringing two centre and Varane will be gone as well. So bringing two centre backs anyway. Put Coamba there as the backup centre back, in that on the right one role. So we've got a main centre back. We've got a main centre back, for the right centre back role. We've got Lisandro Martinez. We've got a backup left centre back. We got Willie Coamba there as the backup right centre back. We've got Dalot in the right back role. Dalot probably the only player who's been playing a lot of games, minus Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo in the pivot role, which was not what was expected, of course, to be played. Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Alejandro Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund up front. Another one, what I think people thought was going to be the case. I think there was just probably giving Rashford a rest against Chelsea, which I would probably have rather him play on Wednesday, but started Wednesday than today for Rashford personally. I think Anthony was fantastic, and I think it was unfair that he got dropped. As much as I have been a critic of Anthony this season, I do think that Anthony probably could have come into that starting 11, because I think Anthony was absolutely fantastic against Chelsea, despite him giving away that penalty. So we'll go into the chat now. Henry, I wish Manchester all the best for the rest of the season. Thank you so much. Should have been over before half time. Completely agree. Liverpool should have definitely scored. Nunes being an example. Luis Diaz could have had another two. You've already said it's wasteful from Salah, Nunes and Diaz, and I'm sure from what I can recall, so Bossline as well, he had a couple of chances in that first half where he could have scored more goals. I think that's the problem is with a derby, all form gets thrown out the window anyway, but if you're not going to put your chances away against your rivals, anything can really happen, especially. Hey there, Aaron. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're well. Brilliant result for us, Maisy. I feel super dirty after chanting you. It's always good to shut the houses up. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Overall, I am happy. that we picked up the draw. I think it was just disappointing that it was just coming from a winning position that we ended up dropping 2 points. But who would have thought it, Aaron? You being a Man United fan now. I'll remember what to get you for your birthday now. A Manchester United top, and I might get my name on the back for you. I'm only kidding. Wan-Bissaka got the assist too. Yes, he did get the assist for Kobe Mainoo. And it was a fantastic assist as well. I think he definitely does need to improve going forward. Wan-Bissaka, but that's him in it really. Like he isn't really one to really attack, and that just gives a bit more thing for the left winger to do. But yeah, it's just one of them. Really is incredible. Gary Neville's shots by how bad 2 Manchester United players were versus Liverpool. Gary Neville is an absolute tit. Honestly, like, he will say anything to discredit Manchester United. He literally sounded like he was disappointed that Manchester United picked up a draw today. Genuinely. But he's just a knob, and I don't even know how people like watching him. To our Lumber, we did well in the second half, just unlucky with the pen, and could have been worse, but draw against Liverpool, that's okay. Yeah, exactly. I'm happy to get a point overall, because getting a point against Liverpool is so difficult to do that, especially this season with the way Liverpool are playing. I think it was just more disappointment more than anything that we could have gone and got the 3 points, but I blame more the attacking players more than anyone else, because the attacking players were extremely poor. Niall, where is everyone today? I don't expect everyone to watch the show anyway. I know people who do watch my show, they do watch back and things, but everyone always has some commitments and things. But I'm grateful for everyone who watches and watches back. So, but going from that, everybody, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, get your vote in the chat of who you think was the player of the match. So far, it is joint in first place with Coamba and Kobe Mainoo. Bruno is in third place with 22%, and Dallo is in last with 11%. So at the moment, it is joint. Hey there, Rabbe. Thanks for coming into the chat. Hope you are well. Oh, I don't know what that was then. Hey there, Chris. Hope you are well. Thanks for coming in. I hate this time of the season. Game of 2 halves. Got ourselves to blame for not killing the game off, but still plenty of twists and turns in the title race. Exactly. There is tough games for both City and Arsenal to come. Arsenal have still got to come to Old Trafford. I think it's the second to last game of the season. Arsenal are coming to us, so obviously they do need to beat us beforehand, so they'll be looking at us. And I can't remember who needs to play Spurs, but we can look at the title race if all you are wanting to anyway. If we didn't get the pen, Liverpool don't come back to the draw. I don't want to play you again. It's really mad, because when we're at our worst, when not our worst, but when we have rubbish, we always seem to do well against Liverpool. But when Liverpool are not having the best season, they're smashing us. Like, it's unreal. Like, you could just never call off a derby, honestly. To be fair, it was a game of 2 halves. How well said Mays about Neville. He doesn't know dilly squat. He's an embarrassment. Yeah, he is. He genuinely is. And I remember I done a bloody video about Gary Neville on TikTok. People were happy with me, but just gonna call out the truth. At the end of the day, he for someone who claims he's a Manchester United fan, he doesn't act like it. Like, and people say, "Oh, he has to be unbiased for Sky Sports." He sold his soul to Sky Sports, because I think the problem is he acts. He's one of them where he acts so unbiased, he ends up going too biased to the opposition team, if that makes sense. Because he doesn't want to praise Manchester United at all. And I'm not saying like we deserve to be to get praised, but I think when you're seeing like a player doing so well, he deserves to be praised. Like Kobe Mano before the game, he was saying, "Oh, he's played well, but the last couple of games, he's really shown that. I think this is too much for him at the moment." I was literally thinking, like, what the hell are you talking about? You should be promoting, encouraging these youth players, especially this is where you come from. This is your roots, and you're saying going on as well like the shirt's a bit too big for him. I just thought that was an absolutely ridiculous comment. Salah and Diaz, Nunes missing so many chances, agreed. And I think Szoboszlai missed a fair few chances as well. He missed 2 or 3 chances from what I can recall just in the first half. Ravi, big up, Maze, the Mankate though. Thank you very much, Ravi. Do Gary hate Man United so much now? Well, I don't even think the guy's a Man United fan personally. People claim he is, but I don't think he is. I think he's actually well, how do I say? I think he's a Man City fan. Like, how this guy has worked under Sir Alex Ferguson. You could say whatever you want about Sir Alex Ferguson ruining your childhood, blah 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 blah. But the thing is, Sir Alex Ferguson's one of the greatest managers to ever grace in the Premier League, as well as a lot of other managers who's come into the Premier League and done fantastically well, like Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, and Roberto Mancini, and there's loads of managers you can say have done fantastic. And I just think like the fact that you would happily after this is after Manchester City won their 5th Carabao Cup. He goes, Pep Guardiola is the greatest ever manager of all time. And if people want to say that is bull, I will literally get this right here, right now. Mays, can you see the sporting manager ended up at Liverpool? I think right now, I think Amorim is going to want to concentrate on Sporting. Is in the Taça de Portugal final. Not yet to decide who it's against. It's either against Porto or Victoria. And then he's in the league. He's literally like 4 points clear at the moment with a game in hand. So I think right now, Ruben Amorim, he loves that club. You can tell he loves Sporting, and Sporting fans love him. They'll literally worship the ground he walks on. They love him that much, and I think he has. If he is going to go, I think he has that much respect. He isn't going to do the terms until the end of the season, until he finds out what is happening. Has he won the league or has he not? I think if he goes trophyless, I definitely think he is going to go Liverpool. But I think if he wins the league, he might actually give it one more season, in my opinion. And I don't think Sporting's going to let him anything lower than the 20 million euros, because Fabrizio come out and said it was 30 million euros and now it's 20 for clubs abroad. And the question is, would Liverpool activate that? That's a bigger question. Even his brother Phil is a terrible manager. Yeah, absolutely shocking. 1-0 Chelsea, Thiago Silva. Ugh. I bet you that they're just gonna batter Sheffield United today, and that's something that we couldn't even do. Exactly. When we're up top, United used to fear Anfield in the run. No matter how bad we were, we have to go up front and could turn you over. Yeah, exactly. I think Anfield's such a hard ground to go to, no matter what team you support. It's such a hard ground. Just because of how Liverpool turn up, how the fans are at that ground. It's a very hostile ground in that way. But I think this season to get a draw at Anfield, I would have never have thought we would. Mays I thought Klopp made the wrong sub. Quasano should have been off instead of Bradley, as Quasano was shaky after the mistake. Yeah, I could definitely see why you think that. I think the only reason why Bradley did go off was because he was on a yellow. Otherwise, I do think Quansah would have been coming off as a sub. I think that is genuinely the only reason, not because of wrong substitutions and things, but I just think it was more to protect Connor Bradley and hope that he doesn't pick up a red, because obviously he was on a yellow from the 7th minute, around the 7th minute or so. So I think it was just more to protect him. United and Everton away. I go in there and they're running. Would you have Wayne Rooney to replace Ten Hag? 100% not. I don't think Wayne Rooney is good enough as a manager personally. My choices would be Ruben Amorim by a country mile. But if we was to replace Erik Ten Hag, but I don't think that Erik Ten Hag will be leaving in the summer. I think we are gonna wait until his contract's up. Especially knowing at the fact that they need to sort out the women's manager now, because there's rumours that he isn't getting that new contract. So I think that's what they're going to be concentrating on, and I think they'll just give Ten Hag one season under this new ownership and see how he goes from there. The finish for United's second goal was decent, and Diaz's first goal was great. Yeah, Diaz had a great first goal. I think it was definitely poor from Manchester United's point of view. Because that marking that Manchester United done for Diaz's goal is Sunday League at best. Even a Sunday League player wouldn't have made that mistake. You should know, as a footballer, you should know, right, make sure you're marking the attacking players and you're marking the tall players. So you'll be marking Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Mohamed Salah. You'd be marking Virgil van Dijk as well. So they'd be the first four straight away that you would mark. And the fact that there wasn't even anyone with Luis Diaz within like 10 yards. And I think that's just disgraceful. Just disgraceful. Like, do these players not even have a brain cell between them to think, oh, let's leave Luis Diaz unmarked? Where are you getting it from? Liverpool have dropped 4 points versus the worst Manchester United team in history this season. Yep, they 4 points. So they've dropped points. So the Anfield, 4 points this season. Yeah, what can I say? It was definitely something that nobody was expecting, and I think both times Manchester United has come through as an underdog because they thought that was going to get battered both times. But thank you so much for coming into the chat box. Really appreciate it. Amorim isn't sure if he will go. Yep, I think it's all dependent on trophies right now for him and where Sporting end up finishing. Mays knows how much I want the boy at Liverpool. Yeah, I think we would activate it. Not bad for a sitting midfielder. Roy Keane and have Jamie Redknapp on Kobe Mainoo. Stunning finish for United. He deserves the praise. Especially after the fact he didn't even get no praise from Gary Neville before the game. Like, just ridiculous. But Roy Keane knows what it's like to play in that role very well. Because he's one of the best to be there in Manchester United's history. So he'll know what kind of a goal would be nice, and etc. And what kind of job roles, what kind of play he would need to do to be successful. Yes, I agree with you, Ravi, and you, Mays. I wanted Kwanzaa to come off. Hey there, Static. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Hey, Mays. Well done today. I'm very disappointed Garnacho didn't score today. In my opinion, Ten Hag was so wrong to take Garnacho off as soon as he stepped up in the second half. Agreed. I think it was definitely such a negative substitution. I don't think Amrabat has been that good this season, in my opinion. I think Amrabat has been very poor, and that's not me saying like he's a poor player or anything, but I just don't think that his style of play is suited to Premier League. So I think we're not going to activate that release buy clause, which I can understand why they wouldn't. But yeah, the thing is I can't. Whenever we took Garnacho off, you can't sit back against Liverpool no matter what. You just can't do it. And the fact that Ten Hag was willing to do that the fact that they've had Salah on the pitch, they've got Diaz on the pitch, they've got Núñez on the pitch, Curtis Jones on the pitch, they've got Cody Gakpo on the pitch. I just literally think, are you setting this team up for failure? Because this team, they genuinely cannot hold on to a lead no matter what. So I don't know how that substitution was made. And if he was going to make a defensive substitute, I would have took Rasmus Højlund off, because Rasmus was very, very poor today's game. Static 9 likes, like and subscribe. Yes, I do exactly what Static has said. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. If you are new to the channel, I do feel Maguire should have had a card for pulling Diaz back, but that's irrelevant. I don't remember it, to be honest, personally. I think all transfer talk should be at the end of the season, not during the season. Completely agree. Just because it can throw off a lot of players, but it hasn't thrown off Sporting in the respect of how they're playing at the moment. Getting the win against Benfica last night. As I say, 4 points clear in the league. So, but I agree. I think it's disrespectful for the players, the team, the ownership, with all the talk that goes on. But that's the same in terms of Manchester United's point of view, with talking about Ten Hag's successors. Like all that bull about Southgate, Potter, Zerbe, Nagelsmann. Like, just let the club make the decision at the end of the season. It's just stupid. But I'm sure in Liverpool's point of view, they'll have a definitely certain number one. Then they'll have obviously couple of backups who they would choose if that wasn't to come to show. I think Alonso was definitely that number one choice, and then Amorim was the second choice by the clear. But there's still some fantastic managers that are out there at the moment for Liverpool. So it's just a matter of who Liverpool end up going with. But there will always be rumours at this time of the season. Salah, of all people, harshing chances, he could have taken him better. Yeah, Salah not usually so Salah usually thrives, to be honest, against Manchester United. So I was surprised he didn't score. But the thing, score before the penalty. But the thing is with Salah, he's one of them. Like, he can be poor all game, and if he scores, he scores. He's one of them. One of them type of players. He's a very difficult player to come up against. We were going after Amrabat, so I think he chose the wrong club to join, or maybe I don't know. I don't know, to be honest, about Amrabat. Like, I don't dislike him, but I just don't think he's Premier League quality. And with that midfield you've got at the moment, you've got a fantastic midfield: the boss line, McAllister, Endo, Gravenberch, Curtis Jones. That midfield realistically set now for the next 3 to 5 years. With some of the fantastic talent and the youthness of that side as well. May's thoughts on the link up. We didn't really have link up, to be fairly honest with you, ever. It was just more about hoofball. We was giving the ball away very silly, but there was some good glimmers in the game. With Kobe, Garnacho, Kobe, Garnacho, and Rashford had a couple of chances to make it to score, but he didn't take it. But there isn't really ever much link up, and I just think it's because of possession more than anything, and giving the ball away very cheaply. So what's the worst case scenario for the running? Let's have a look at our running now till the end of the season. I don't think we've got a bad running, but I think our hardest game's Arsenal, from what I can remember. But we do have a good play. I would say easy, but I don't. But we shouldn't call any team easy, to be fair. So here's the run-ins for Man United until the end of the season. So we've got Bournemouth on Saturday at 5:30 kickoff, so that will be on Sky. Newcastle game is postponed. That will be because of the FA Cup. So that will be played in due course. We got Coventry at Wembley. Then we've got Sheffield United at home, Burnley at home, Crystal Palace at home, and then we've got Arsenal at home, and then Brighton away. So I think the last 2 fixtures, out of all the fixtures we've got, what's actually got the that actually got the dates, I think the last 2 games of the season are definitely hard. Obviously, Newcastle game is another one what's going to be a difficult running. But it's just a matter of when that's going to be played. I think if we played that in between Burnley and Crystal Palace, maybe I don't think that would actually be too bad for a Manchester United point of view, anyway. But it's an okay run. It could be a lot worse, and it could be a bit better especially with the last 2 games. But I'm not complaining. The thing is, we are gonna come against tough teams. I think the toughest teams for me have already been played, which is City and Liverpool. They're always going to be the toughest games for me. So Arsenal's obviously a tough game, but to play the majority of the toughest teams, I'm happy with anyway. Liverpool were trying to go out wide when they got in around the box and it just didn't work. Yep, definitely didn't from Liverpool. We'll look at Liverpool starting 11. So they had Kelleher in goal. Not too sure how long Alisson's out for, but I think he's definitely a miss. I think Kelleher's been good this season. When he has stepped up very well. I think the first goal he was definitely at fault for, because I think you can't go too far out your box, and I think he was punished for it as well as Quansah. I think Kelleher shouldn't have been too far out of his box for sure. Conor Bradley, Quansah, Van Dijk, and Robertson. So there was a rotated back line for Liverpool with Quansah coming in. I was a bit surprised at that. I thought Kanate was going to come in. Who knows, though, if Kanate did come in, would it have been a win for Liverpool overall? We just never know that. I think Bradley played very well in keeping Rashford quiet. I think Quansah even played well right until the first goal was scored by Man United in too. But I do think Liverpool's going to have a bit of a dilemma when it does come to the game coming ahead. Once Trent Alexander-Arnold's coming back into that team, because in my opinion, I wouldn't drop Conor Bradley, just because I think Conor Bradley for me is a fantastic talent, and this season he's probably one of the best talents in the Premier League at the young age, alongside Kobe Mainoo, them and Lewis Miley. They're the 3 who's been the standout players this season in terms of the youth side. So it makes me wonder, is Trent going to be ended up converting into a midfielder eventually, or is there going to be a bit more rotation there in that right back role? So it'd be interesting to see on what Klopp does eventually, if Trent does come back in time, or what the new manager decides to do as well. The midfield, they got Szoboszlai, Endo, and McAllister. I think that was definitely expected. And the same with the front 3 of Diaz, Núñez, and Salah. I think they was definitely expected as well. I think McAllister was definitely the best midfielder on the pitch. Endo seemed a little bit quiet for me. Szoboszlai did miss a few chances. And again, I don't think the front 3 for Liverpool was particularly great. The same as Manchester United. The chances that they could have been put a lot better. Diaz did take the goal very nicely. Salah did take a good penalty. Darwin Núñez did miss a few sitters though. But there was, and then obviously the substitutions were made for both teams. Antony, Amrabat, Mason Mount for Manchester United, and Jones, Gomez, Gakpo, and Elliott for Jurgen Klopp. And then there was the other bench options. So for Liverpool's bench was Adrian, Kanate, Jadon Danns, Casimas, and Gravenberch. I'll tell you something, that Jadon Danns, he is a top player. Like obviously I don't really like to praise Liverpool too much, being a rival fan, but Jadon Danns guy, he is a top talent. Like, Liverpool needs to keep hold of him at all costs, and I actually would have put him on over Gakpo. I know that's a massive responsibility, but I just don't think Gakpo's got it at the moment. I think he's lost a bit of flair in my opinion. But that Jaden Dans, I think give the guy a few more, gives the guy some minutes. He's mint player, and Liverpool have got some great academy players coming through. And I'm sure that they will eventually make the debuts under Jurgen Klopp if they haven't already, because I know they made a few under the Carabao Cup and they probably made a few under the Europa League as well. And then Man United had the bench of Bayende, Amad Diallo, Christian Eriksen, Habib, and Harry Hamas, who made it out. Oh, and and Forson, of course. Hamas was the first bench call up for Manchester United. Manchester United's first team. Bayern will be playing next week. Well, next week. So it'll be interesting to see how the lad does. I'm gonna give my full support, love to Bayern, of course. Everyone knows I like Bayern. He just deserves that bit of opportunities, and yeah, if you just see the injuries from both teams, both got the same amount of injuries at the moment. Anthony Martial, groin injury, out for a few days. Probably be out forever with Martial, but I can't see Martial making another appearance for Manchester United anyway. Johnny Evans, muscle injury unknown. Yeah, that's correct. Johnny was at the game today. He was sat with some of the fans, so which was nice to see. Lisandro Martinez back, a calf injury till May. Shaw, muscle injury till May. Varane, muscle injury, doubtful. Maybe Varane might be back then for the next week's game, fingers crossed. That's bull that with Malacia about a few days. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. And the Lindelof hamstring injury till early May. And then you've got Liverpool's injuries of Alisson, injured till mid-April. Ben Doak. Not even seen much of Ben Doak, He's a good talent as well. Injured till mid-April. Diogo Jota, out till mid-April, knee injury. Oh yeah, I remember Matip. He's got an ACL, hasn't he? Bloody hell, yeah. They're occurring now in the men's games. Stefan, I can't even pronounce that surname. Out till late 24, April 24. Thiago out for unknown. I don't think Thiago's gonna probably be out again for the rest. Out. I think he's probably made his last Liverpool appearance, probably in my opinion. Trent Alexander-Arnold out till mid-April as well. So, both teams have got a few players coming back very, very soon. Fingers crossed. So Henry Allison is due back for our next game, and Trent is back for our next game. That's great news for Liverpool's point of view as well. It's definitely to stay into that title race. To our Lumber, it's a derby, such tackles are routine. Yeah, exactly. That's what you're gonna do when you are playing against your rival. You are gonna put on a few more tackles than usual to try and rival up the opposition. You know what made me laugh? That Willie Colombo's yellow card. I personally don't think it was a yellow card. He didn't look like he got touched, in my opinion. But what made me laugh was Klopp's like how he went mad, and I just thought just take the yellow card. Like I was literally laughing at it. It was just funny his reaction. But no doubt any other manager would have done the same. Sheffield just scored 1-1. Na 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 na. Chelsea in the mud, in the mud. Chelsea in the mud. Na 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 na. Chelsea in the mud, in the mud. Chelsea in the mud. Kanate injured. Okay, fair enough. Elliot did well, I thought. Yeah, Elliot was definitely a great spark. I think he's been great. He's been playing out of position and things too. This season in the midfield, this and last season in the midfield, but definitely more of a winger. I think they should rotate Connor at his young age so he doesn't burn out. Yeah, that's completely understandable. I think Trent for me is more attacking based than Connor Bradley. And I think probably Trent will be much better in that midfield role later on to come indeed. Sheffield 1, Chelsea 1. That is beautiful. Especially when there's like Man United and Moments FC. Well, what the hell are you? Like, do you even have any moments? Ice cold Palmer. Oh, ice cold Palmer. Yeah, well, stick your ice cold Palmer up your bum. Gakpo didn't offer much. Anthony, that guy is not the one. I don't think Anthony's the one personally, but he has played well in the last couple of games, and the way he's played in the last couple of games, I think your start 11 should be based on like obviously how you're playing at the moment and your form. And I think right now, Anthony's on better form than Marcus Rashford, so Anthony should be starting at this moment in time. But I would say Ahmad should be starting over the pair of them. But we know that Ten Hag doesn't like Ahmad for some reason. Yeah, Mays, Dan's quality to Ireland, but hope to see Ahmad too. Yeah, I'd love to see Ahmad eventually. But something tells me we're not going to probably see Ahmad for a bit. I hope to see Ahmad though against Coventry, especially knowing that he'll know how Coventry play. So there's no reason why we shouldn't play him either. Mays always has great pronunciations to players' names, always make them sound like they're mank down the road. When I say that Stephen Liverpool players' names, I feel like I have to put my teeth back in as it's an hard name to say. I knew it'd be a hard name and I thought I won't be able to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to embarrass myself. Latest score, Chelsea and Sheffield United is 1-1. Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. To Alan laughing. Preach it, please. What can I say? I've got to do it. We can't really slag Chelsea, Maisy. They did beat us 4-3. Yeah, but let's be real, Niall. As much as they beat us 4-3, where was it? We also beat them 2-1 at home with Scott McTominay brace. So I will laugh at them because they deserve to be laughed at. They're a laughing stock. Even that Manchester United are so poor. Even we could get 3 points off Sheffield United, a relegation team. What does Chelsea have to offer? Especially when they spent over £1 billion in their squad. It's an absolute embarrassment. So yeah, I will laugh at them because they deserve to get laughed at. Like they're just a disgrace to the Premier League at the end of the day. Yeah, they're just a disgrace to the Premier League. And if you're going to be looking at that table as well, whenever that. I'm saying look at the table. It is taking ages for me to put it on. And if you're looking at the table as well, they may have beat us, but look, they're still in ninth place. That point, 3 points against us hasn't done them much favours. Took them from 10th to 9th. Who cares? Who genuinely? You know what? I was angry, but who cares? They can have the 3 points. Let them have it if that's what they're buzzing about. But we picked up 3 points against them, and they got a bit like aerated with me. Cheap goal as well that Chelsea conceded. I can't wait to see it, mate. I genuinely can't wait to see it. I'm gonna laugh my head off. No way. Chelsea are drawing with the mighty Sheffield. Exactly. That is beautiful, isn't it, Aaron? Like, fantastic. Agent Wilder. What game is the Chelsea on? Chelsea's not on the TV. Aaron, hope to see Maino in the England squad. He's got potential to be a top player in a few years. Have a great evening. What a weekend. Do you have a great evening as well, Aaron? And yeah, for sure, Maino definitely. I hope he does get into that England squad. I wouldn't be disappointed if he didn't anyway. He does deserve a nice break off, does our Cobes. But I think if he was to be in the England squad, I don't think he'll start. He deserves to start over Henderson and Calvin Phillips for sure. But yeah, he's a fantastic player. You enjoy your weekend too, Aaron. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Chelsea are really so bad. Maze, what's your thoughts on this luxury tax? To be honest, it's just a load of bull. I just don't think it's fair. Like this luxury Premier League thing is just to allow the top teams to spend a lot more money than what they do have, and it's just going to let the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea get away with pure murder. Because you see and how Chelsea has spent over £1 billion nearly, will it? We've seen that Man City have got 115 charges, so I think this luxury tax crap is a load of bull. I understand like point deductions are affecting like Everton and Nottingham Forest, the teams that probably people think, well, why are you charging these and not these? But hopefully the time will come with the other two. But I just think the luxury tax is just to benefit the bigger teams rather than anyone else. Because a lot of these teams who are like the Sheffield Uniteds, the Burnleys, the Nottingham Forests, the Lutons, they're not going to make too much profit per year. So where they're going to get their £1 billion from to spend on players, they're not going to get that. So I don't agree with it. I think it's a load of crap. And the thing is, just leave football as it is. And I think whoever are doing it are just experimenting too much on football. Like this yellow, not that blue card crap as well. Leave it as it is. And I think the more tweaking you're gonna get, the more you're just gonna dislike watching it. The more it's just looking like a joke as well. 1-0 Spurs from Niall. Cucumber is bad at the back. You know what? These Chelsea fans was like, he had a good game against Man United. I was literally like, Anthony skinned you alive. No other left back has been skinned by Anthony. So if you're getting skinned by Anthony, you're rubbish. And he got skinned by Anthony so many times. It's just terrible. Let's laugh at Chelsea. It's allowed. I forgot we beat them 2-1. Go on, Stuart McCall and Wilder. They are checking the verdict. The goal is given 1-0 Spurs. 1-0 Spurs. You need the magic box for the Chelsea game. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, I hate playing Chelsea. After City, Liverpool, Leeds, and Newcastle, I want to beat Chelsea. Hey there, Solo. Thanks for coming into the chat. Hope you're well. Been a very long time indeed. Hope you're doing well, and be good to catch up with you very soon. Do you think Villa will miss out on the top four? Good question. Looking at the Premier League table at the moment, I think it was definitely more Villa's to lose than it was Tottenham's. But the problem with Tottenham is that they've got a game in hand on Aston Villa. If we're going to look at both the teams, so Tottenham still got to play Newcastle, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. So they still got to play some top teams in the Premier League. Whereas I think maybe Villa might have a bit more of an easier run. If we look at Villa's run, they've got out of the teams that is going to be difficult. They've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. So I think it might be just a bit more preferred onto Villa's side, but I think both of them are not the best options. I think both teams could lose 3 games on the trot though, quite easily. I think the thing is top 3 is pretty much sealed, but I just don't think nobody wants 4th. I think I'd rather Villa have it over Spurs any day of the week, but I wonder if it could be a bit too much of a big jump for Villa next season, just as it was for Newcastle this season, going from mid-table to Champions League football? Could it be a bit more of a big jump for Villa? I think probably from an outside point of view, as much as I prefer Villa in the Champions League over Spurs, I think it would probably work out better for Villa in the longer run if they had the Europa League football over Champions League football next season. Maino and Dello from Chris are definitely standouts for me. Kuala did decent for the first game, but Nunes had a beating of him at times. Yeah, I think it was probably expected, but I don't think Maguire did him any favours. And I think the problem is when you've got a young player who's only young, he's making his first Old Trafford debut. I do personally think that the senior players around him should be helping him a little bit more. And I think at time to time, the players did leave him to rot. I don't think Maguire did no favours with how he was heading the ball, and the bit of the sloppy passing. Casemiro, especially in that second half, did not do Kwambala did any favours at all. I think probably the one who probably benefited him the most was probably Wan-Bissaka, which was probably why I'd say Wan-Bissaka and Dalot probably ended up switching positions, as well as obviously the Salah situation. Manchester United marking for first goal was awful. Completely agree. Absolutely dreadful, but it's happened far too much this season. Literally only happened last game with Cole Palmer. You can't be having attacking dangerous players unmarked. It's a schoolboy error. You wouldn't even see Sunday League players marking that bad, and I just think it's just. I just think like, how are you allowing this? And in an Eric Ten Hag point of view, how are you thinking this is acceptable? Because surely you'd think you'd be wanting to think, right, this is a disgrace. We need to sort this out. We need to improve upon this, and it's not improving. And a matter of fact, it's probably getting worse. Chelsea only have about a 3 goal songs. Let's be real. Their songs is attack, 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 attack. But the thing is all they sing is attack, 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 attack. They only say that because they don't know how to attack, and they're urging the players to go on. Rather, Harry Redknapp was right saying that too many academies taking control of the game that never has played the game. Chelsea played Bob Marley, every little thing's gonna be alright. How ironic is that song to play? Bob will playing that because they've got Todd Bowley as their own hand. It's like, every little thing will be alright on the Todd Bowley. Hey there, Windsor. Not seen you in the channel before, so thank you very much for coming in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and that's the same for anyone else who is new into the channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button as well. Niall, and they sing "Blue is the colour," and that Chelsea. Just so bland, so unoriginal. Like, that's just Chelsea fans, unoriginal. Apart from the odd Chelsea fan, they're just, like, it's just an unoriginal club based on oil, and now they're based on bloody a guy who wants to make the bloody league into the league into the Super Bowl and do North versus South game. Like, just. Hey there, Abdullah. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. This fuming ref again is 200% not penalty. Is a dive. I think the only problem why I'd say he was giving it is because he was a sliding tackle and he went down Wan-Bissaka. Oh, I just don't understand it at all. I just think no matter what, because Man United have obviously had decisions for and against them this season. You need to be very careful in the Premier League, and I just think, as much as it's whatever people's opinion is, I just think you can't go down like as in like a sliding tackle in the box at all. When you look at some angles, it does it look like a penalty? Does it not? But other respects, it does look like a penalty just based on that alone. 3 times I replied to that video. No, what video did you reply to? This is the first time I've seen your comment. I hope you're well though, Abdullah. Thanks for coming in. Mate, you gotta see Jackson's hair years ago. Got a blue patch on the top. Looks like Pogba's little brother. Oh, dearie me. Fake injuries should be straight booking. Agreed. Diving should be a straight booking as well. We need to cut out in the diving. It's just absolutely atrocious. We'll finish off now with the ratings. So let's share my screen. So it'll be the ratings for Manchester United. So we'll start on. Sorry, I 3 times seen that. Okay, fair enough. Gareth Southgate was in attendance for the Old Firm to watch Jack Butland. He's not going to call Jack Butland up, so it was a waste of him going all the way up to bloody Scotland, to be fairly honest. Like, I hope he brought a coat with her. Scotland's freezing. Forest has scored 1-1. So we'll do the ratings now anyway. So we'll start with Andre Onana. I don't think Onana had a bad game. I actually think he made some pretty decent saves. The first goal, he couldn't have done anything with it. First goal, he couldn't have done anything with it. I think the thing is, he's very static when he does. I think there was a couple of chances where he punched and he could have really caught. But I'm not going to discredit Onana at all. I think the yellow card was silly. Gonna give him a 6.5. I don't think he had a bad game at all. Maze, did you like the pace of the game? It was very quick on both ends, but obviously, I think we was pretty slow at times as well. Twilumber's gone for 7. Henry has gone for 7 as well. Rabbit Maze, you should have lent Southgate your iconic yellow and white coat. Oh, I've not even wore that coat for a while either. Hey there to Luca, thanks for coming in. So we'll go now on to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka is another one. I genuinely don't think he had a bad game at all. Whatever people think about, obviously, the yellow card situation, being the penalty decision, that's obviously your decision, of course. But he was pretty decent today's game. He managed to keep Salah quiet overall as well, which was probably his main job. I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka a 7. I do think he did have a decent game overall, despite the penalty incident. He did get an assist, and he's getting better and better as much as every time you see Wan-Bissaka, he is improving every single game, which is great to see. Henry agrees with the 7, as does Twilumber for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So we'll go now on to Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire, I don't think he played too well, in my opinion, in respect of, I think he could have helped out Kwambala a lot more than what he did. I think his heading was a bit poor. He was a bit sloppy with his passing at time to time. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't at fault for any goal as such, or he didn't make like an obvious mistake where I could have said, oh, he was disgraceful, this was disgraceful and things. But I think with him being the most senior player in that back line, I do expect a lot better from Harry Maguire. But he did make some good interceptions, and he did manage to keep Nunes quiet a lot as well. So I'm going to give him a 6. And it was just more of the letdown for I just think he as I say, that support for Kwambala and the fact that like he's a bit sloppy with his passing. Twilumber's gone for a 6.5. Harry Maguire. Henry's gone for a 5. Twilumber said made some good blocks. Yep, he definitely did. In the game. Henry said 1-1 for Forest. Oh, that is beautiful as well. Forest game. The thing is this time in the Premier League, you never want to play the the top, like the relegation scenes, it's always going to be the hardest. Nottingham Forest, Chris Wood has scored, and Chris Wood is actually in a decent form at the moment. Every time I'm seeing it, he's literally scoring all the time. I don't know what's happened to Chris Wood, but he's not the Chris Wood what was at Newcastle. I think Burnley knew Chris Wood's coming back. So I'll go now on to Kwambwala now. First senior Old Trafford appearance, starting at Manchester United today. I think he was very decent. Obviously there was a little bit of errors, but I think that's just more at the fact that for me that he's only young, and nothing more. And he's just lacking that bit of experience. But as I say, that's just more of what you'd expect your senior players to help you with. But I think he was great with his passing. He made some great blocks. His running was very decent. He was bringing the ball forward. I actually think he's a pretty decent little centre back, and I'd actually have him as a backup next season. Still get the two centre backs, but have him as a backup because I genuinely think he's quality, and I just don't know why a lot of people are discrediting him and the Manchester United fans. I have no clue why, but I think he's really, really good. And I'd like to see what more of him were about. I'm gonna give Kwambala an 8. Very, very impressive game from him today. And I didn't expect him to put the marker out that he did. I do think though that if he can do this against Liverpool in the derby, he's more than capable to do it against any team. Because he even came on as a sub against City, and he played as a right back, and he done very good as a right back role. So if he could do it against City and Liverpool, he's good enough to be at the club. Let's be real. So give him the opportunity and give him the chance, especially with both Martinez, Martinez and Lindelof is out. Give him the opportunity, and I think the more games he has under his belt, I think the more he's going to do well. Twalumber's gone for an 8, Henry's gone for a 7, and Niall's gone for an 8 as well. So we'll go on to Dalot. I don't think it's been an impressive game for Dalot. Don't get me wrong, he didn't do like bad or anything where I could point out and go, "Oh my God, Dalot was terrible, and he's done this and he's done this and he's done this." But I think I just expected something a little bit more from Dalot, to be fairly honest, and I just think that I think he was going out of position quite a lot, and I don't think it was doing Garnacho any favours, because Garnacho kept having to track back a lot. And I don't think and that led to Kwambala not having many favours in that first half either, which was why Maguire and Kwambala ended up switching sides. And this is the problem is with Dalot is he's not a defensive right back, he's more of an attacking right back, and he is going to leave space open. There's no issues if, for instance, the centre back is quick or he is quick to track back. I think he's quickish, but Maguire isn't quick. So Maguire's going to go out of position. Garnacho's going to trap back, and then that's going to leave attacking options very limited for when we go on the counter. And Kwambala, he's not the quickest of centre backs, but I think he is slightly quick. I'm going to give him the same rating as I give Maguire, a 6 for today. So Twalum has gone for a 5.6. Right side was open, agreed. The right side was definitely open. Gave Garnacho no favours at all. Made you know the moral of the game. Liverpool could have beat United side that have been poorer than Tiny Tim this season. What formation is best for Man United? At the moment, the thing is the players don't work on any other formation apart from this one, the 4-2-3-1. As much as I don't really like the 4-2-3-1, it's probably the best option for United at the moment. I think if we had much better players into the squad, or players who actually want to run, then the 4-3-3 could work very, very easily as well. So But because this is an counter-attacking team, this is probably a team that the only formation the players know. Probably this one at the moment is probably the best option we probably have. May's thoughts on Bruno during the game: extremely annoying. He was getting on my nerves, diving a lot, sway his hands a lot. It was just peeing me off, to be honest. Next player now, we'll go to Maino. I think Maino had a fantastic game today. He was getting into the right areas and bringing the ball forward. There was that opportunity he had in the box before, obviously in the first half before he scored. He was getting into nice tight spaces. He was quite a menace, I'd probably say, in that midfield. Casemiro was pretty poor, so I think he had to cover for a lot of defensive slack as well. I think it was probably the right option to sub him off because he is playing a lot of games at the moment, Kobe. But I'm gonna give Kobe the same score as what I give Kwambala. I'm gonna give him an 8. It was definitely one of the better players that we had on the pitch in today's game. Henry's gone for an 8 for Maino, and Twilumber's gone for a 7 for the goal. So we'll go now on to Casemiro. I think for me, Casemiro, he had decent first half, but his second half, he was absolutely dreadful. I think he could have done so much better. He was giving the ball away so stupidly. It was unreal. I think he was shocking in possession, out of possession. That foul that he done in the last couple of minutes of the game could have potentially cost us. He took a yellow and he was happy to take the yellow, which is fine. But if, for instance, he didn't pull out on time, that could have easily been a red. I think he was just very, very reckless in that second half. If he played as well as he did in that first half, he probably would have got a 7, in my opinion. But based on the fact that how poor he was in that second half, I'm gonna have to give him a 5. I'm genuinely. I just think that I think he was absolutely dreadful. It was really, really dreadful. Henry's gone for a 4 for Casemiro. Hey there, thanks for coming in. United pay refs. Bloody wish we paid the refs. If you want me to be honest. If you think we paid the refs, go and look at them penalties what Chelsea had, then let me know. Twilumber's gone for a 5 for Casemiro. Yeah, we pay them, sue us. We'll go now on to the next player. We'll go to Garnacho. I feel a bit sorry for Garnacho. As much as there was a few chances Garnacho really could have took, I don't think Dalot done him any favours whatsoever. There was 2 opportunities I could think of at the top of my head, and I thought, Garnacho, you really could have done a lot better. And obviously he scored. It ruled off. That goal got ruled offside, but that was more on Bruno's passing more than Garnacho altogether. I'm gonna give him the same rating as I did Dalot. I'm gonna give him a 6. Out of the attacking players, it was definitely by far the best one. But it's obviously not the Garnacho that we've always seen either. Twilumber 6.5 for Garnacho, 1 weight 0.1. Now I know you're trolling. Henry's gone for a 6 for Garnacho. So now go on to Bruno Fernandes. I think as much as that goal got taken for Bruno, I think Bruno was absolutely dreadful. It was just, I don't know where he was passing to. He had no awareness at all of what he was, of who he was passing to, what he was passing to, where the offside was, where the players were standing. It was honestly so bad. And I don't know what is wrong with Bruno because we have seen Bruno for the player that he is. But he had yet again a terrible game. I don't think he's had really too many great games this season. He was probably one of the worst players on the pitch, alongside Casemiro and a few other players. For the goal alone, I'm giving him a 4 for Bruno. And if he didn't score that goal, he would have got a 2. That was how dreadful I think Bruno Fernandes was. Just wafting his hands constantly. Is he asking for a yellow card? Is he wanting to be sent off? I just don't think he is captain material. I don't think any of the senior players are at the moment. But I just don't think. Yeah, he might love the club. Okay, fine, but he isn't captain material. He has gone dreadful, and why? Why has he gone so poor? So 0 for Bruno. You know what? If he didn't score, I probably would have given him a 0 myself. Tualum has gone for a 5. Rubbish passing. Terrible game. 1 for the goal from Henry. Bruno, do you think he will ever leave? I don't think Man United will sell Bruno. The only way Bruno would leave is either he retires at Man United or he leaves on a free. That would be the only 2 ways he would leave Manchester United, because I don't think Manchester United would ever sell him. I genuinely don't. Why was he captain? Isn't it Harry? Harry got stripped off the captaincy in the summer. Let's see if I can find the article now. Because Harry Maguire wrote a post about it, and people like PR merchant and all that. But I think for me, Harry Maguire is probably the better captain at this moment in time than he compared to than what Bruno is. But one of them. Let me try. I can't even find it. He did definitely do one because I've seen it myself. This one. No, on this. It wasn't that one. Here you go. Yeah, so he done a post about it, Maguire in the summer. About obviously being stripped off the captaincy. So he put this was back in July 23. After discussions with the manager today, he has informed me he is changing captain. He has outlined his reasons to me, and whilst I'm personally extremely disappointed, I will continue to give my all every time I wear the shirt. So I wanted to say thank you to the Manchester United fans for all their brilliant support whilst I have been wearing the armband. Since the day I took on the role 3.5 years ago, it's been a huge privilege to lead Manchester United and one of the proudest moments of my career to date. It's one of the greatest honours in club football. I've done everything I possibly could to help Man United be successful on and off the field. I'll always be grateful to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for giving me the responsibility, and I wish whoever takes it on every success and have my full support. And I think that's definitely what a true leader should write. 100%. A lot of people probably would have kicked off at the fact that they didn't get obviously been stripped off the captaincy, and I think Maguire being stripped off the captaincy, I actually think has probably done him a favour, because he actually has performed a whole lot better, and I think he did get a lot of discredit as a captain, obviously rightly so, because he was poor, but I think he does speak very well, Harry Maguire, and I do think that overall it was a better decision for him to not be a captain, because it has worked in his favour a lot better, and he has been putting on some solid performances. Slabhead. Only thing Bruno done was the goal after Kwanzaa made a mistake. Bruno took too long, pass for Garnacho. 100% I agree. We gifted the goal thanks to idiot Kwanzaa. No clue what you're saying. No, giving the armband to Bruno has only escalated his ego. Yep, he was the captain at Sporting as well. And it's funny enough, once Bruno left Sporting, they win the league, so funny coincidence. Maisy, Chelsea getting rushed into the game, Sheffield testing them. Interesting. Players should get the captain for their work rate and performances. Yeah, I agree with that. I do think, though, none of the players at the moment do deserve that captain's armband. I would have probably said Varane, but the thing is with Varane, he's very inconsistent in terms of the minutes he plays because he does get injured a lot. So we need a player who is reliable to be playing a lot. Casemiro could have been an option, but I think because maybe the language barrier, he didn't pick him. Martinez could have been an option, maybe, but I don't know. But I think we do need to sort out the captain's situation next season. He said it well, 100%. He did say it well. Who's the captain now? The captain's Bruno. He's been captain. Bruno got named as captain this season, Niall. So we'll go now on to Marcus Rashford. I think the thing is with Rashford, he was very limited in terms of he did make a lot more effort. Don't get me wrong, compared to that Chelsea game, but he did have like 3 players like defending at once. So I think it was very limited. But at time to time, he could have done a whole lot better as well, Marcus Rashford. He wasn't like poor on the respect of like Casemiro and Bruno poor for me in my opinion, but he could have done so much better. He could. I think the problem is with Marcus Rashford is he lacks IQ. He lacks IQ a lot, and he's one of the more senior players now, and I think a lot of people don't realise that he is one of the more senior players in this squad. So he should be knowing where to pass. He should be knowing to cut in, to cross the ball. He's not doing the basics the majority of the time, and I think he's very, very selfish on the pitch. I'm gonna give him the same rating as Bruno, 4 for me. Twalumber -10. Same thing always. Rashford won't be going the club like him too much. Yeah, he won't go. I don't think the only way he will go is if like he will say he wants to leave or he leaves on a free. He won't leave otherwise. But the thing is once his contract comes back up again, he'll perform again. That's what I genuinely think will happen, and it always seems to happen with him. 5, I think Rashford will leave in the summer abroad. Can't see the club wanting to sell him, to be fairly honest. The problem is that the club loves the academy players so much because of that youth courage success rubbish. So they won't ever get rid of him or Scott McTominay. For me, 2, if I'm being honest. So we'll go on to the final player now, Rasmus Højlund. Højlund as well was very, very poor in today's game. I think he could have done so much better, but he's not getting the service. But he needs to adapt to with the wingers as much as I feel sorry for him by saying, "Oh, he's not done this, he's not done this," but he needs to track back a lot more, and he needs to feed himself. If he knows that he's not getting that service off Bruno, Garnacho, and Anthony Rashford, he did work hard. Don't get me wrong, but he needs. I don't know what more I could say. I'll give him a 4.5. Yeah. Twalumber can't rate. The kid had no service. He did work hard. Henry's gone for a 5 for Rasmus. So we'll have a see. Who? Oh, come on, guys! It's literally joint at the moment with Maynard and Kwanwala for joint. So I'm gonna end this poll. I'm gonna do a new one for Maynard and Kwanwala. Because obviously it's out of them too. So if anyone has any other comments they want to mention, just mention it in the chat whilst we do these rankings for the next one, so we could do play the match for the players. I think he does what the manager asks. He has to be ready for the counter attack. Yeah, I think he definitely does do what Ten Hag tells him to do. But I just don't. I think Ten Hag in a kind of way sets him up for failure with the wingers that he has around him. Because the wingers are very, very greedy. They want to shoot and score or cut in and score. They're the type of players we have, and the only player who will feed him will be Bruno, which I don't think's been very good this season, and Ahmad, and Ahmad's not playing. I think Sancho could have potentially fed him, but obviously Sancho's one of them. Yeah, let's not go into that one, but I definitely do feel sorry for him, but I think Ten Hag to help him succeed, he needs to sort out that lineup or tell the players to help him out a little bit more. There was that opportunity he could have had, but I think he was too far back in that set piece where Casemiro headed it back in. And then obviously Højlund wasn't near enough. I think he could have maybe a stretch, but I'm not going to discredit him. Both player of the matches is okay. I wish I could put 2, but I can't put 2 for some reason on this app. I can only put the 1, which is silly, but one of them. Yeah, we'll just end it now. Maino's got 75%, so 3 people out of 4's gone for Cobes. So we'll put Kobe as the player of the match. So here's the rankings. Onana 6.5, Dalot 6, Kwambala 8, Harry Maguire 6, Wan-Bissaka 7, Casemiro 5, Maino 8, player of the match, Rashford 4, Bruno 4, Garnacho 6, Højlund 4.5. Mays, Chelsea getting rushed in the Sheffield game, struggling to get past. Well, that's good. That's very good indeed. And we will wrap it up for now. Thank you all for coming into the chat. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Hope you all have a very lovely evening. Take care. Night night.